Every person can reduce the amount of greenhouse gases they contribute towards climate change by 60% if they just go vegan. Sounds interesting, right? Hello and namaste from Pallavi. Welcome to my podcast, Eco Friendly Kind World. And today it's going to be a very interesting episode as we are going to discuss change what you eat for combating the climate change. In today's episode, we have a very special guest, Lakshit Kankariya. He's just 17-year old. He's a veganpreneur and he's a podcaster himself and an interviewer who has taken more than 200 interviews. Wow, so many achievements at such a young age.
My
And
pleasure.
not to forget that he's also a best selling author and a book record holder in India and Asia. So let's welcome Lakshit to this episode. How are you doing today, Lakshit?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thank you very much for the lovely intro, Palvi. Really glad to be here. And yeah, let's discover and let's see and what we can do through our food, and let's change the world through our kitchen.
My sheer pleasure to have you here, and I'm really feeling privileged and honored that you have accepted the invite.
My pleasure.
So, yeah, before I start asking you a question on veganism, could you please tell our listener more about you, your background, and the work you do?
Sure. So, hello everybody. I'm Lakshit again. As Palvi introduced, I have been recording podcasts from past 2 years. I have been talking with people about life, how things go on in life, what life is all about, and it's been different journey in a whole, and that is what has changed my life in all different manners. I've discovered so many topics about it. My one of my podcasts singly, like I have three podcasts right now, which is one is on mental health, one is on business, and one is on something else. Like it's a topic of, so the third one is all about famous people and people who have achieved good and have a good fan following, etc. And that part is going to
I'm
be
sure you do have. You do have.
so they are going to be touching so that podcast is going to be touching hundreds solely. So I have had conversation about everything. So you ask me or message me about anything and I'll be able to share you an episode on that. So that's how it has things happened. Otherwise, after I think in the June year of 2020 June, I turned vegan, and in the month of July, I started a vegan brand which was called Pap Mukt, and now we're changing the name to Plant Mate, which means friends with plants, which is plant mate, so something similar to that, and we would be working more upon now to make the products more affordable. Like now at the moment they're very affordable at the present scenario, but working
Uh-huh.
more to make them more affordable. So when you buy it, you shouldn't mind buying it. So that's a goal now. Otherwise things are great. I have written books, have India Book of Record and Asia Book of Record have given me a record for interviewing people at a young age and all of that. Otherwise, I'm a speaker. I go to schools, speak about veganism, speak about life. I go to podcasts such as with today with Palvi, where I'm discussing veganism and how things can change by just the way we eat and etc. So that's what I do. So yeah, sorry for taking your time.
No, no, please, girl, like continue. I would like to know more that what all you are doing, and I'm already feeling like so inspired. And if I could recall my life, I mean, I don't see myself doing anything else except studies when I was 17.
Yeah.
And it is actually so great to see that Gen Z these days are like, very proactive, and they are channelizing their time and energy in the right direction and in the right
Good.
things, right? And like
Yeah.
you are the future of our nation. So it's like, really great to see that you are doing a lot at this young age. So,
Thank you.
Lakshit, I would like to know that, like you're so young at, 17, you're already doing a lot, and then you have turned into vegan. So, what has been your motivating factor that what made you turn into a vegan?
So nothing like, no major inspiration or anything as such. I'm a person who's always been different. Never followed what society tells me or does me. I'm a person who was born with women, and I was more a person who Was a extrovert, not an introvert at all. Person who spoke with people. Of course, in the kid of my part, I was very a person who didn't speak. I was very shy. But then after some years, when I grew up and I met new people, I was a person who, like, didn't care about things. I was never the person who followed the crowd. I made crowds to follow me. That's the kind of person I've always been, since a childhood. Like, I everybody played cricket near me, but I never, still today, I don't know how to throw a ball or maybe, catch a bat properly, because I never interested me. My always things was about the problems around me. I've always been a person who was intrigued by some other thing. When I was kid, I was, seeing kids similar to my age of being on the street, I started crying sometimes, like, why are they there here? What can we do? Why can't they be like me or eat anything they wish to? That kind of person I'm always been. Not trying to show how great or whatever I am, but that's a person I am been. I never followed crowd. I never did what people said to me. People said to me, speak in Hindi. I'm a Mawadi guy, and my family, almost everybody speaks English. Sorry, Hindi. Their parents with their parents, but there were only very few of us who spoke Marwadi, etc. But I've never been a person. I never listened to them. I spoke in my languages I liked. I have done things I like to do. I never played cricket, which was the very bad thing. Reason my father didn't like it. He was a fan of cricket. He played, and he had some inspirations there, but never followed him because I didn't like it ever. Then a lot of things. As I said, I'm not a person who followed the crowd, and for far someday uh, I have new veganism when I was around 15, when I was traveling to the part of Europe and being into Europe, being a exchange student there, understanding life over there and studying there. And luckily I was near the city of Paris, and I have been there plenty of times. I had seen boards out there, vegan options available, vegan food available, so I knew about it. And my family, was the family I lived in with, they were very hardcore meat eaters. They used to eat horses and elephants and everything. I've seen them eating everything. And so that we always had these conversations, what will happen if people go vegan, vegetarian. They laughed on me sometimes, etc. I was vegetarian then, so that these things happened. But I was, again, as I said, I never followed the crowd, but I was like, I ignored them, etc. And when I came back to India after, I think, 6 months, from no reason, a video popped up on Facebook which showed how things happen in a dairy farm in India, how animals are treated, how they are, artificially inseminated, etc. And these things happened here, and then that intrigued me. Like, what I thought, was it really how I things were? And luckily, I have a, like, where I live, there is, just back of it, there are some around 25 cows who are, who it's a, I don't know what you stay at, a stable. Yeah, I know, not stable, it's like a cow house where cows are breeded and, are there for milk. And then when I used to see these videos more and more, they, as I think it's Facebook's all algorithm, when you see some video, that video comes again and again on your screen. So I saw this video, and then there were more and more videos coming up. There were more and more things. I was understanding that what is happening, it was not how white it was, white how it was looking to me. And then things happened. I more on focused how things were happening there, how they were treating the cows, how they were pregnanted, how their kids were treated, what they were doing, and I understood. It became more and more lively to me. And as I said again, I'm a person who is always different. Whenever I see a problem, I just connect with it very very fastly, and I don't take much time for changing. And even, that time, I was a very kid. At this age, a lot of people can't even take decisions of what to eat, and, a lot of people can't even take, they are not even understanding that what's right and what's wrong for them. And taking a step such as getting, living everything and being a vegan, but at the age of 16 was not a cake. Like, it's not a cream on the cake. It had its own consequences. I was fighting with people, arguing with people. I was debating with them. I was fighting with my own family members. It was not that easy how it looked. But then those
Absolutely, yeah.
cows, yes. So those cows and that yard was a motivation for me, that they are going through something. And I think fighting is more easier for me than to not change for their lives and bring some change. Like from my, it's not gonna be a one night thing that I'm gonna speak and people are gonna change. It's gonna
Mhm.
be in a mannered way, but I'll have to first begin it at my house. What I believe is, when you want to change something in this world, change it from your house, and the world will change it for itself.
I totally agree. Yeah. So I can say that today we have somebody who is like a born leader, right? That's what I can say from
Thank you. Thank
your journey and what you have shared. So like so wonderful to hear that, Lakshit. So my next question to you, like since you already have a lot of exposure and you have been to Europe, so now what do you think? Since like Western countries are all meat eaters, right? So do you think this veganism is working over there? Like of course these days, it is the hot topic, right? The climate change and the veganism. So what are your views on that? Does it
you.
make creating any difference?
So it's similar. Indians are gonna take time, because mostly after a certain period, after even being 25, 30, you depend on your parents. You can't even take your own decisions. So in as a country, as in India, it's gonna take a lot of time. Like even even urban population wouldn't be able to change quicker. Even being how open-minded you are, changing your diet is not a easy part in India, as a country where even after being as age as 30 in your life, you can't take your own decisions. In
Yeah.
the other part of the world, which is the Western countries, it's a after 15, 16, you're a grown up kid. People start earning money. Even if it's a small amount, they start earning money. They start living alone. There are many who even move out at that age and have their own apartments. They pay on their own bills, etc. So for them, it's a easy part, because they take their life decisions by themselves. Nobody controls them after a certain period of time. Nor your parents want to do you the baby bacha wala thing, nor the children's like it. That's the easier part. So these decisions, after a while, 16, 17, you take your own decisions. You see what's right for you, wrong for you. So
Mhm.
that happens. So the why it's going to be easy, this is one factor for Westerners, that they take their own decisions. Secondly, they understand things, and they could be, and it could depend. They are emotionally very. There are people who connect things on emotional level very quick, but there are some people who don't care about these things. There are many, but Western, it's becoming more popular and spreading more, because I think now there is around 20% and 80% market share in America of plant based milks, and normal dairy milk. It's 80% normal milk, and 20% the substitutes. After a certain period of time, in 2 3 years, it's going to be 50-50 of both of that. Most of the major dairy companies have closed. Most more and more dairy, which is cheese, milk, is surplus in America, because the government has some deal from World War II in America, and they have a lot of surplus milk for which they export. They dry the milk and sell it as milk powder, etc. So because of that, they have that surplus milk problem. Otherwise, I think things are changing in West. 12 to 15% of the UK population is vegan. Around 30% is plant-based, which they consume milk and meat sometimes, but they are mostly depend on plant products. America, 10%. Most people are eating plant-based meat, are shifting their diets because they understand things. It's more on with the youngsters. Again, it's similar with youngsters, because I think after a certain period of time, even in the West, for a long time, parents control their life, as it is done in the eastern part of the world. Parents
Mhm.
even control life there as well. Before it was some 50 years back, where people were still religious, still orthodox, still believed in things which were they didn't know if were right or wrong, etc. But they believed in that. So then that decision making was still with the father and the mother of the family. They decided what the family has to do, who will move out when, what will be the decisions. Even after major things, it was even whatever happened, you would have called your parents. Nowadays, it's more with your friends, or you would call a consultant company who would help you. But then it was more it was your parents. You'll call them, what to do, how do I shift, what kind of furniture do I create in my house. That was still based on your parents. So now So the people of 90s still are not changing that quick, but the
Yeah.
after people with 2020 years and 18 years of my age and even 30s, let's consider us 1990s, they are changing and they're understanding what's right and what's wrong in this lifestyle. So this is how things are changing in the western country. After a certain period of time, say 10 years, 50%, every, like all of the western countries should have 50% of vegans and 50% of meat eaters population.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
is the
And yeah,
predictions. Yeah.
they are more open to the new ideas and to adopt something new. I think they are more
Yes,
open and
yes. Because
adaptable in that way.
yeah, they adapt
Yeah,
to things quicker because, as I again
yeah,
said, after a certain point, they live their life. Nobody, nor their wife can control their life, nor their husband can control their life. If these decisions, nor the husband's husband or nor wives can control their life, because these are a very general, topic where they control their own life. They wouldn't interfere. When it comes to a kid, both of them will take decisions. They, come together. But when they're its own life, they take decisions their own. Nobody controls each other. And when we see these jokes of wife and husband, that my wife does this to me, and husband, the Indian jokes on husband, but that doesn't work there because it culturally doesn't matches them. Culturally, those aren't anywhere near to them. Yeah.
So good to hear this from somebody who is still in his teens, right? Absolutely. So, Lakshit, the next question, the most important one, like, what are your views in, how veganism can help combating the climate change? What do you think?
In every manner, like for every aspect. So it has been 2 years, I'm healthy, I'm good, I'm working properly. I can, even if I fall down and I have a leg broken, the next day I'll feel much better with that leg pain, because that's the recovery rate when you're not eating anything which is processed or comes from animals. So what happens when I'm using this word processed, people will say vegan food is processed as well. So just for your information, vegan food isn't just fancy milks and fancy meat options. It is plant-based life means, or vegan life means, you're wholly based on lentils, leaves and rotis and etc.
Hmm.
Pulses, which is a normal middle class diet. No, not everybody can afford paneer every day. It's a upper middle class or a higher class thing. When we were kid, not every day paneer was not a everyday thing in our families, because everybody didn't have that much money to buy paneer. Paneer was expensive, even it's expensive now, even now. So it's not a deal. Being vegan it has been in the Indian tradition. Like, if you're rich enough, you would use ghee in your ghee in your food. Otherwise, everything is made in oil. Nobody has that much money. The only money for Indians was to buy milk and dahi. That's it. Ghee was a rich thing, paneer was a rich thing. Not everybody could afford that. you know
Yeah.
so these things are there. Otherwise, the way you create fancy things about veganism, it's not that fancy. It's about life you live. There are a lot of things, the products which we create and sell, I don't eat most of them, because I'm okay with my roti, sabzi and dal chawal. I'm done. I don't need anything much. Sometimes as a human, I have that urge to eat dahi chawal. I would eat a soy curd or peanut curd made from my own hands at my home. So that's how things work. Otherwise, you don't have to go fancy. You don't have to eat anything. You can live on a
I
plant-based
agree, but I
life.
think
Yeah.
it's just like no, the term has got hyped. Otherwise, it just mean to eat right, which is good for
Yeah.
your own body
Yeah.
and also for
So
the
the
environment.
yes, yes. So the poor households in India are already vegan. The only thing they would consume is chai. So otherwise, even any dairy product for them is a very, very expensive thing. They can't afford it. Like,
Yeah.
their day income is 100 rupees. They spend around, say, if you're not in Delhi or Punjab, Delhi, where the water and etc is free, you have to spend crazy money on electricity, crazy money on water, etc. Your food things are so expensive. Your dal has become the dal nowadays is at the price of paneer. What are you telling about? So poor households in India, the very lower middle class and poorer sections, are already vegan. They cook. Of course, oil is also expensive now, but most of them are cook in oil. Cook things in oil because they don't have that much money to spend. And our temple meals are vegan. All the prasadams given in rice, everything is vegan. Nobody's going to feed you ghee in temples. Living if it's a very lavish and expensive temple. Otherwise, everything comes vegan there. If you say laddus are fried in oil, they are this. And when you go into marriages, when you go into restaurants, you think nowadays they don't even care about oil. They use vanaspati ghee, which is also called dalda. They don't even use ghee. So butter or whatever. So these things are, we have to understand. There is impossible way that you can, there are limited number of cows. There is huge amount of demand. You need milk, you need dahi, you need 10 type of cheeses, you need thick dahi, watery dahi, then you need paneer, you need extra soft paneer, uh, then you need ghee, you need thick ghee, A2 cow ghee. So there are multiple things. How do you think you can cater to these demands? And that too, population 130 billions. Say around say, let's consider 1 million people would be 1 million people would be people who wouldn't consume dairy or dairy products or meat products. Meat is
Mhm.
so expensive. For a mutton is 300 rupees a kilo, chicken is 300 rupees a kilo, mutton is 5 to 600 rupees a kilo now. It has, everything is expensive. You can't, nor meat products are. So that's the reason, Sundays fest in non-vegetarian family, because they bring meat etc on Sundays. But we don't understand that they have a huge impact. First, cows burps and farts. So they have huge amount of CO2, and I forgot the name which they produce. I'll remember and tell you in the between. Yeah. Um there are so many gases they release which directly affects the weather. the
Methane
the
gases,
Yeah, the
the
methane. Really sorry.
yeah,
Thank you very
all
much.
this
The methane.
greenhouse gas.
Methane
Yes,
is the thing which they barp methane. They fart methane. The
yes.
the the waste they produce, which is the gobar, whatever you call cow dung. When
Mm-hmm.
you use there are some who use it in a lot of places in India. Yet they burn it, they dry it and burn it, and they make food from it. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
most of them is wasted. It's washed. So the water is used to clean cows, wasted to clean all the places where cows are kept. Otherwise, they have to spend double money in doing the treatment for them. Otherwise, extra cost will be there for everything. Then the water is wasted. There is 1 liter of milk on average. It uses 1 liter of milk needs around 2000 to 3000 liter of water. So it's
Mm-hmm.
considered, them feeding cows, growing their crops, cleaning them, cleaning the places they live in. So all taking all of them into consideration. And then the milk coming, going, and pasteurization, and then coming in a packets, etc. Then that round figure, 1 liter of milk uses around 20 to 30, 2000 to 3000 liters of water per day, per liter per day. Yeah. So if a cow produces around 30 liters of milk, it's already around say 3 lakh liters of water is wasted for just one cow.
Yeah.
That much of water is wasted. That can be cut down. Second, all the waste on the cow dung and the gobar which is washed off, it goes into our ponds, into lakes. After that, lake water goes into river, the river water goes into sea, and the sea water kills all the fishes, because of the cow dung has chemicals, because what they're fed with a lot of chemicals to produce more and more milk. And that chemical, of course, has to come out from their dung, so that then the fishes are killed. Seas are being polluted, rivers are being polluted. That can be stopped. Third,
True. Mm.
um, you these so then these everyday Amazon rainforest is being cut down just to graze soy for all the animals, which
Yeah.
is which is which is considering milk, pigs, etc. All the thing, all into consideration.
Mm.
Around say, they say, I don't know how sure these how verified these claims are, but around 20 football stadiums are cleared in Amazon rainforest every day. 20
Mm.
football stadiums every day is cleared out. So even the Amazon burning, when we saw the news if Amazon was burning, or we saw Australian bushfires burning, California burning, forest burning, etc. We think these are, the theory which comes up, the conspiracy theories which comes up, is that two trees would have clashed, and then they would have created the fire because they were a dried thing. But the real thing, these are done by these meat industry fellows and milk industry fellows, for them to have free land, not to spend on
Mhm.
the land, and they can grow food for the animals.
Yeah,
You understand?
absolutely. There
That
are
that that, that these are
there are
all
hidden
interconnected.
reasons, and those things won't come out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, those
because
things are like
because it's because it's a big thing, everybody's consuming it.
a big
Even if you
thing.
see
Yeah,
the facts, you wouldn't believe it, because you love your meat and you
absolutely.
live a dairy. You don't care about it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, thank you for highlighting it and, giving it like so much of details about it. Yeah. So with this, Lakshit, I would like to ask then, like, what is your message to the people and to the world? What do you want to say to them?
Yeah, really sorry. Before that, I'll just take 2 minutes more extra to explain some things,
Sure,
and
please.
then I'll end that up.
Yes.
So as I said again, they burn rainforests. They all of these are done by these industries to plant more and more trees. And then there is a statement which comes up from these industries that these soys used by, we don't do all of this. And all the vegans were claiming they use all soy products, which is tofu, soy milk, etc. Comes very very much. But the soy which is produced all over the world, there is only 2% of it, not 2%, 10% of it used for humans. The 90% is used for grazing, cows, buffaloes, pigs, chickens, etc. A
Mm-hmm.
chicken which comes to your plate isn't even had been into this world from more than 6 weeks to 12 weeks. A
Mm-hmm.
chicken which can produce only 12 to 30 eggs in a year produces 365 eggs which is every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $300 million industry in India.
Yeah.
$300 million industry is egg industry in India. You can think how many hens are killed every day. Male hens don't produce milk or have no, they are not used in production, reproduction, etc. They are killed. They are killed in hot water. They're crushed in crushers. Everything is done. Cows, male cows are killed because they are not of any use nowadays. Nor people use them to, the more of the farming is done by tractors these days. So they are starved till 30 days of their life and they're killed. Not killed, they die by themselves. If it's a female, they will be reproduced every, so it's similar. When a cow gives only milk when you're pregnant, when it's pregnant. So if it's
Mm-hmm.
pregnant for 9 to 10 months, the baby comes out. The cow gets 3 month of kind of a vacation period, and after 3 months, it is, they put all full of their hand in her butt. They artificially inseminate. They use the sperm of the ox or buffalo, whatever, not buffalo, ox, the male cow, and they pregnant her again, and 9 months
Yeah.
again. So after 5 to 6 years, they can't reproduce again, and they're left on the streets. You
Really,
see
really,
cows going on the
like,
streets, the cows roaming
very.
on the street, and there is traffic. You will blame the government, you'll blame everything. The time I will say it's because of your milk, and the time you stop your milk, you'll stop seeing the cows on the street. Everybody will start telling that you are a, what, this party supporter. You don't like people eating things. Eating is a personal choice. Yes, eating is a personal choice when there is nobody's life included in it. There are hens dying for your food. There are cows dying for your food. There are tortured, manipulated, exploited just for your food. So it's not a personal choice anymore. There is somebody involved in it for you to eat and have a happy meal, which they claim to. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
message
Yeah.
I would like to end up is,
Mhm.
I know I can't change people. You can't change yourself, because your life, I know, still depends on your parents, your mother, your in-laws, where you live. As a woman, when you're a woman and you're married, it depends on your in-laws, your husband. If you would do change, maybe most of the times your husband wouldn't understand that. He wouldn't support you. If you're turning it in your household, maybe your parents won't support you. They would. Then what you do is, then you understand and learn things in your life. You understand that when things will happen wrong, nobody in the family would come up. When you would change, they wouldn't accept you change, but they would try to, force you to be like them. Accept the wrong. So that's when I say, to all the females, males, everyone, not any particular to any gender, understand cooking is very important. Learn it, because as a thing, you can do anything with it. If nobody supports you in a family, if you go vegan, I didn't know cooking a lot of it. I had to cook some meals for my family in France.
Mhm.
I didn't know much of it. I didn't know cooking much of it. I learned through it, through YouTube videos, and some of from asking my mother. When I'm understanding, learning about veganism more and more, I try to learn more and more cooking, how things can be made, what are things, because I am the person who is the manufacturer, who is understanding my products now. So whenever you ask me, even at the night, when you would tell me, Lakshit, how is made at even 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, or if you consider it night or whatever, I can tell you the recipe, how things are made, what has to be done, what will change when it's in a bulk process, because I've seen it. I know how to cook. I know how things are changing when it's bulk, when it's less bulk, which is a single product, etc. I have learned it, have understood it, have understood my product. That's the plus point in Plant Mate, which I'm working on, is I know my product more than any entrepreneur does. All the entrepreneurs who exist in the space have used their moms, used their sisters to cook, have taken their help to make food. But with me, it's not. I have done it. I have cooked myself, and some help has been taken by from my sisters, from my mother, etc. But most of it is done by me. I cook for me. I do all the things. I send the deliveries. All the things are done. So cook, understand how cooking is done, learn it, watch your mom, watch every how things are done near them, and that is going to help you in a longer way. If you wish to change your diet, you can change it. And so although and aspiring youngsters, change doesn't happen overnight. It will never happen overnight. Hundreds will come and fight with you. The people you loved and the people you think were the greatest of the all, you'll start hating them, because even after knowing all of that, they won't change. Even after knowing all the problems in the society, they will have a reason to not change. Even showing all the proof that you can live healthily, you can live without problems, you can change so many things in the world. Say first 3 to 6 months are a bit of a problem when you turn vegan, because the world is still very, very, what you say, rude to you. The world is very still, doesn't wants to change, and is okay exploiting animals and change, giving pain in their life. That's okay to them. So you'll start hating your own people. But that's going to be, then afterwards you understand that everybody's not changes according to you and doesn't lives according to you.
And you know what
uh,
happens is, like, you try to take a one positive step, and there are people around to point it out to you. Oh, you are not doing this correct. Then, there are a lot of things, and then it goes into a debate, right? Like you
yeah,
already put, and then you start hating people around you, your own family or your friends, and then every day would be like an argument, right? So I would just here say that people should appreciate the first positive step which you are trying to take. Of
right,
course, you have very rightly said that change doesn't come overnight, it takes time, but
time, yeah,
you just need to start it, right? You should be just motivated to even think into that direction.
yeah.
And
Well,
sustainable lifestyle, it's it's difficult to be start living 100% sustainable lifestyle, and it just it's like scalable always. The only thing
yeah,
is whether you are moving into the right direction or not.
totally.
Yeah,
And so, as I said, the statement that change doesn't come overnight, it doesn't mean that you wait for somebody to change it. You become the
exactly.
leader and change it. You don't say that I'll wait for 10 years, some person will come and change everything, and I'll change according to him or according to them or according to her. It have
No.
to be done and taken steps by you as well. Of course,
Yeah.
change takes time, but the change will have to begin from you and from your at your own place. So again, ending up, I won't take more time. Just understand, cooking is very important in life. It changes everything. You don't have to depend anyone, nor on your woman at your home, nor on your maid at your home, nor at your male cook at your home. You can cook yourself. You can adjust your food by your own self. When you want to take steps as turning vegan, when you know about cooking, you understand what goes in to make it. So it helps you also to not cross contaminate what you're eating, and you don't depend on somebody who is not vegan and is okay to feed you anything and will claim this is vegan and we made different for you. So you know what goes into making that food. Number two. And three, please become the leader. Don't wait for the leaders to come and become a follower, because a leader is what people remember, not the follower. So become the leader. Yeah.
Wow, that's really a beautiful message from somebody who is himself very young, and
Thank
whole of your life is still ahead of you, left, right, and you have just lived the 17 years, but you are really very inspiring, Lakshit, and I'm so thankful for this insightful conversation, so rightly detailed out each and everything. So before we end this episode, Lakshit, my last question to you is your five favorite vegan food.
Dal, chawal, roti, uh, any hari sabzi, and sometimes dahi chawal made with peanut curd or soy curd. So
Totally desi, Indian
as
style.
simple as that. Yeah, totally as desi, as simple as it. And I haven't. The only one pill I would be taking is vitamin D3. It's
Mhm.
just because I don't go in much of contact with sun. I'm mostly in home because all of my work happens from home. Let it be, we are not such a big company where our production houses are there and we travel much out. My Everything happens from my home. It's like a cloud kitchen. And secondly, my podcast as well happen at my home, and my studies happen at home as well, because I have my boards coming up and I'm studying at home. So most of my time is spent at home, and that's the reason take D3, because I don't go much out. And that's the only problem. Otherwise there is no pills. Sometimes there is, you should take some tests to understand if there is some kind of deficiency. Otherwise there is no issues in your body. You're going to be happy forever and ever. You're going to be sleeping easily, waking up very full of energy. Your pain, your body ache and everything is going to be disappearing in just seconds and minutes, hours per se. And people are going to be feeling healthier. And your type 2 diabetes, your cholesterol, your cancer, everything can be cured by just eliminating meat and dairy. People have seen results in just 2 weeks of eliminating them from their life. Their All their sugar levels, all their cancer levels, everything have gone by half in just 2 weeks, by changing and not eating something as easy as what we're eating for life. And people say the dairy, meat, everything gives us protein, vitamins, etc. If it was it so, why would it be there $1 billion industry existing of vitamin pills, vitamin, medicines, etc.? So all of these is a created thing. And lastly, one last thing, I won't take much of your time. The doctors, meat industry, dairy industry, and medicines. These are three of your Bermuda Triangle. So one, doctor tells you not to eliminate these things from your diet because they are important. One, it could be because they don't know about it. They don't have not they were not thought about it in their learning experience, and when they were learning. Many have know about have are new to that, but they wouldn't speak about it because they have their own personal agendas and personal propagandas with that related to it. But there are many doctors who are in the south of India have seen who have started telling people to not consume dairy products anymore, because that's not supporting their life and it's just killing them faster. So one doctors most of the doctors, a lot of doctors in India are in this way. They will tell you to eat all of this because they have invested interest in all of this, all in this industry. Meat and dairy industry fund these doctors. The funds go to these doctors, so the doctors say what they want to sell what the doctors they sell. They pay money to the doctor, so the doctor sells what they are trying to sell. And number 3 are all the medicines. So you understand, being a doctor, it's a business. They also want to make money. If you're going to become sick there, you're going to go to more them, to do health checkups, etc. So they which is going to be money making thing for them. So don't believe in your doctor every time. I know you're not going to believe me again and you'll go to your family doctor to ask things, but these three things are interconnected. Telling after my personal experience, it has been 2 years. The only pills I've taken in my whole life is vitamin D3, and only two pills of something else, of my very bad stomach ache I had. I don't know what happened. I hadn't drink water very well while sleeping, and it had given me very very bad stomach ache, and I wasn't able to eat properly, etc. And that was the time I took medicines. It has been 2 years. The only medicine I've taken, as I can say, it is vitamin D3, or of that two pills which I took for my stomach ache. That's it. I have not been sick. If I even be sick, it's going to be for 1 2 days when my cold comes out of the body, etc. It's done. I'm ready with the third day. So as I said, doctors, meat industry, dairy industry, and the medicine, which is the pharma, are all three Bermuda Triangle. So save yourself from them. Change your diet. Improve your life. Everything will go off. And when you are tired of the problems in this world, one simple thing I'll tell you again, that what you eat is what the kind of person you are. So if your food comes with exploitation, pain, etc., you're going to be a person who's going to be tragic, hating people, dumping people, fighting, etc. That's going to be becoming your life, and that will become your truth, because that's what going in your body. And Ayurveda says, "जो आप खाते हो वही आप दिखाते हो." What you eat is what you show, and that is what I will end try to end this session up with. Thank you very much, and sorry for taking your time.
No, no, no. That was really insightful, and the triangle concept was really an interesting point. And I hope our listeners have got the message to change what you eat, that it is all about. Thank you so much, Lakshit, for your time today. And to our listeners, keep listening to Eco Friendly Kind World for more such inspiring stories. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.